Hello there, Hollows. In this video, I'm going to talk about why it could be that no game has ever tried to directly copy the Souls formula. Before we begin though, if you enjoy this video, or hey, even if you don't like the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button to help me grow this channel and help reach a wider audience. Also, if you enjoy my long form and analytical videos like my 3.5-hour analysis of Dark Souls 2, I'll be giving members early access to those videos, so maybe even consider becoming a channel member if you want to see my Bloodborne analysis a little bit early, along with several other member benefits. Anyway, on with the video. So, for some reason, no game has ever actually tried to copy the Souls formula directly. When games like Grand Theft Auto came out, you had clones, like Saints Row, which was literally a copy. The driving gameplay, the gunplay, the freedom, the mission structure, basically everything in that game was at the time a copy of Grand Theft Auto. Same with the Elder Scrolls. After Morrowind and Oblivion came out, you had games like Gothic and Two Worlds which came out and copied them, even down to the magic systems, dungeons and the combat. Then there is the Souls franchise. For some reason, every single game that comes out copies some aspects of the franchise, but never the whole package. Neo, for example, borrows the stamina management system, the bonfire system, and weapon scaling, but then it instead uses a mission system, introduced a stance system, and a loot system, all which end up massively changing the game. Lords of the Fallen also borrows the stamina management system and even goes for a fantasy approach again, but changes the entire leveling system, adding in a risk and reward system and NPCs you have conversations with, and its whole world feels very different to a traditional Souls one. So, my point is that no game has ever tried to directly copy the Dark Souls experience. They always change so much that the end result feels drastically different from a Souls game, like how Lords of the Fallen doesn't always replenish your flasks when you rest at a bonfire. You have to wait a while if you want to get them all back. Neo, like I said before, has its mission structure, which immediately changes how the player approaches the game. Now, I'm not saying that any of this is a bad thing. It's good for different companies to try their own thing and innovate. That's how new things are born. However, I'm just surprised that no game has ever tried to make a direct clone where it borrows pretty much everything from Souls. The types of weapons, the statistics, the interconnected world, the bonfire system, the co-op system, the lot. Even the character's movement and the button layout. The only company that has ever really copied the Souls formula to that degree is sadly FromSoftware themselves, with games like Bloodborne and Elden Ring. I wonder why no big company has ever tried though. To this day, I feel like Lords of the Fallen is probably the closest we've ever gotten, but even that game just doesn't have that same world. It doesn't have that same fun combat pacing and rich narrative style. The game is still a long way away from being a real Dark Souls clone. Anyway, this video isn't a criticism as it is more an observation, because really, what's stopping a company coming along and making their own Bloodborne equivalent, except set in a different time period, with a different rich environment and amazing storytelling? I'm yet to see a game that is as similar to Dark Souls as Saints Row is to Grand Theft Auto, and this just really surprises me because there's no reason why a company couldn't come along and try to do this. First, they really should start with the gameplay. Get that fun, addictive gameplay loop and combat down, because that's the most important aspect of a Souls game, in my opinion. The way your character moves and feels is so responsive. Then you need to write a rich and engaging narrative that's set in a unique world that really grips the player's attention. Maybe a Souls-like game rooted in Egyptian history, except play into the fantastical elements to create unique weapons and enemies. That's a unique period with an interesting history you could easily dip into for some inspiration if you needed it. This could be your basis though, but tell the story in that distinctive Souls style, just like Bloodborne does. It borrows from Victorian London, werewolves and H.P. Lovecraft and weaves them together to make a compelling FromSoftware experience out of this basis. The same could easily be done with ancient Egypt. Then after that, the other pieces sort of fall into place quite easily, with the weaponry and enemy designs obviously being borrowed from that same inspiration, and then the world design obviously needs to have that same interconnected design that we all love in the Souls series. Anyway, what do you think? Would you like to see another developer actually try and make a Souls clone? A proper Souls clone, obviously, not just the ones we've seen so far. And if so, what kind of inspiration would you like to see it take? Anyway, a special shout out to my 2 channel members, T-Mort and Just Another Dog. And thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Maybe even share this video with anyone that might enjoy it if you feel it was good enough. Thank you again for watching. This is SoulReborn signing out. Have a good one.